the ports of entry, but that's not your experience, is it?
No, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Kennedy?
The bad guys are using drones. Does anybody disagree with that? Okay.
Welcome, folks. This is Unshaken Liberty. I'm your host, Michael, where we cut through the noise, expose the spin, and tell the truth the mainstream media refuses to touch. Now, today I want to talk about a Senate hearing that really fired me up. Senator John Kennedy was grilling a so-called professor, one of those ivory tower types who thinks they are smarter than the rest of us, about drones being used by the bad guys at our borders, near our facilities, and possibly even against the American people. Let's watch.
And the federal government has the authority to fight back, does it not? But nobody disagrees with that statement? Sure, Professor.
I would say within limits, yes. Within constitutional limits.
Okay. Do any of you disagree with giving state and local law enforcement the authority to fight back?
Again, within constitutional limits.
Okay. Tell me what your constitutional concerns are, Professor.
So I have three primary concerns. The first has to do with the Fourth Amendment and the conditions under which a warrant is required and a general warrant is forbidden by the Fourth Amendment. So in this particular case, it's important.
Professor, before you give me one of your lectures, are you saying that we should require state and local law enforcement to get a warrant before they fight back?
It depends on the condition. So in an exigent circumstance or something along the border.
I'm aware of the exceptions to the warrant requirement. But you, generally speaking, you want to require them to get a warrant.
Only for the search of a device or the seizure of property. There are also due process implications of that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You started to mention another one of your objections.
First Amendment.
First Amendment. Okay. Any others?
Yeah, I also have a state rights, a 10th Amendment concern here, which is that states own the airspace adjacent to the land within their state that's not federally owned, and the current federal provisions don't recognize state sovereignty in that way.
So you want to give state and local law enforcement the authority to fight back, but you want to list a whole lot of conditions. Is that a fair assessment?
Not a whole lot, but some. There needs to be a nexus to the facility. It can't be any drone anywhere in America if you're concerned about a particular facility, but right now it's too broad. There have to be acknowledgments of First Amendment concerns. So for instance, limiting the covered facilities to the experience and logic test with which the courts use for right of public access, or prohibiting media bans across the board, or setting a time limit before and after special events so they don't extend extensively. This is what a number of state measures already do, and I'd like to see that at a federal level and apply to bring this within the constitutional limits.
Sounds like a lot of conditions to me.
No, not very many. As long as there's probable cause and the conditions are met, then absolutely you can.
Have you ever heard of a legislative practice called living a bill to death?
Yes.
Okay. And that's when you take a bill and somebody says, I'm really for this bill. But then they add so many amendments and they screw it up so badly that the bill either becomes ineffective or doesn't pass. Is that a pretty accurate description?
Of the term?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're trying to love this to death, aren't you?
I disagree.
You're not really for giving law enforcement the power to fight back, are you?
I am in favor of giving law enforcement that power and respecting constitutional limits.
I don't believe you, Professor. Okay? You're not talking to Bambi's baby brother here. Okay? I've read some of your stuff. I think you'd be more intellectually honest if you just come out and say, I'm on the side of the bad guys here. I think we shouldn't give state and local law enforcement the authority to fight back. You're trying to make it as hard as possible, aren't you?
We'll have to disagree on that point, Senator.
Nah. You know, you ever heard the expression, watch what they do, not what they say? I've watched what you've done. I know what you believe. Or you're on the FISA court?
I'm not on the court. No, I'm an amicus for the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court and the Court of Review.
Okay. Were you there when you guys issued all those bad warrants against Trump's people?
I can't discuss my work on the court, unfortunately.
Oh, it's top secret, right? You'd have to put me on the American people on double secret probation if you told them the truth, wouldn't you?
No. I can't discuss my matters that I've handled before the court. I can discuss the public ones where I've dealt with First Amendment concerns and the right to petition. I did an extensive history looking at that right
I'm
to
done,
petition.
Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Kennedy. We're going to turn it over to Senator Blumenthal.
Thanks, Madam Chair.
And let me tell you something. Senator Kennedy was right on the money. These bad guys are using drones to smuggle drugs, to spy, and to threaten our security. And you'd think, just common sense, would give law enforcement the power to fight back. But nope, not according to this professor. This professor starts whining about the Fourth Amendment, the First Amendment, and state sovereignty. Now don't get me wrong, I love the Constitution. But here's the difference. Conservatives like us respect the Constitution, while these liberal academics use it as a shield to protect criminals and tie the hands of law enforcement. What the professor was doing was classic DC swamp behavior, loving a bill to death. Pretend you're for it, but then pile on so many restrictions, so many conditions, that the law is useless. And Senator Kennedy called him out on it. Said flat out, you're siding with the bad guys. And you know what? He's right. Think about it. Every time we try to give police or border patrol the tools they need, the left throws up roadblocks. They protect the criminals, not the people. They worry about drones being used by journalists, but not about drones being used by cartels. They worry about process, but not about fentanyl pouring across our border. Folks, that's backwards. That's dangerous. And let's not forget, this professor has ties to the FISA court. The same FISA court that approved those bogus warrants to spy on President Trump's campaign. Yeah, the same deep state machine that tried to take down a duly elected president. And now is lecturing us about what's constitutional? Give me a break. Here's the bottom line. We need strong borders, strong law enforcement, and the power to defend ourselves against enemies foreign and domestic, whether they're using drones, smuggling drugs, or weaponizing the legal system. Senator Kennedy spoke truth to power, and he exposed the professor's double talk for what it was, a smokescreen. This isn't complicated. Folks, you're either on the side of law and order, or you're on the side of chaos. You're either protecting the American people, or you're protecting the criminals. And here on Unshaken